I'd like to talk about the supply chain that each of you interact with because I am seeing, because of either state or federal regulation or industry body standards like net zero or the Events Industry Council or what EDPA and ESCA have done in terms of guidance on sustainability, I'm seeing people who are not touched by regulation yet, meaning their size of employees aren't there or the revenue isn't there in a particular state, so they're not mandated to comply with that state's requirement, but their clients are. And their clients now are pushing down through the supply chain and saying, where are you on this issue of sustainability? And so that I do see that it has the attention of people who in the past may have just simply ignored regulation because it didn't apply to them based on size or revenue, but in fact, it does apply to them as they're part of a supply chain. So as each of you in your respective businesses think about procurement and supply chain, if you'd speak to that, do you kind of agree with that point, or are you seeing that that is a trend, that there is now some push down into the supply chain? So once those companies got their heads around what they needed to do themselves, and now they realize they have to rely on their supply chain to help them. Now in my business, I'm getting calls almost every week or day now with people saying, I've just been asked about this. I need to know more.
Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle that I continue to see is in the food. When we're renting venues, using sites, there's just such strict regulations on not being able to gift that food anywhere. We have great resources in Orange County and LA that will come and take the food and take it to communities, but it's the venue that has strict regulations to say we can't let that go after typically it's 2 hours amount of time of being set out, which I understand both sides, but that's definitely one that's tricky. So then it comes down to what you can do, and you work with the venue on how much we're putting out, if we're changing our options to make more sense so that we're producing and reducing the waste. So I would say that's the biggest, but it's certainly a conversation. And on the exhibit floor too, we're seeing a lot more solutions, which means clients are asking, and that's great. So I like seeing that direction.
Yeah, so I mean, our organization is a supplier to a lot of clients, like you mentioned, who must adhere to regulation. So that push down as a third party does go to us, and it makes us think about our suppliers as an organization. We do see clients think about it from the lens of their events too, because those are their suppliers. So we're seeing that push down, like you said, on the exhibit floor. What are they doing? So it is trickling its way to the industry. And I think we're seeing that through questions through sourcing. What can you do? And what is your knowledge about this? How can you help us? And then how they plan. We have clients that sometimes say, like, we're just not going to do it this way. Even though you didn't give us another option, you need to find a different option. Like, we won't do signage this way. We're not going to throw away all of the structures for the exhibit. So I think that from what you were saying originally, Glenn, yes, we're feeling that. I think our clients are feeling that. And I think it is kind of going down to events and pushing to source those and procure suppliers that are doing it more sustainably.
Yeah, so from my perspective, I am typically the one who is pushing down sustainability or at least asking and nudging people in the supply chain about sustainability. It is very rare to come across partners like you, Bridget, that would do some things sustainably proactively without us asking for it directly. So I definitely work with different venues and catering to make sure that they have some sustainability practices, something that we kind of have as our event team has standards within our organization. So we want the vendors that we work with and partners to adhere to those standards as well. Since a lot of conferences that I organize happen in different location every year across, we have experience like working with different countries, different regulations, and that's where it's difficult because every single time for every conference, you have to start from zero. You have to find the venue, the caterers, all the partners, brand new. So it's kind of like a process that you have to keep doing, but that's where you get better at it because then you know with what type of people you would like to work and what are your standards that you want to keep taking with you wherever you go.